Barnaby Conrad by Ray Bradbury. I've known Barney for 10 years, for 40 years. I love him. He's a wonderful human being and a wonderful writer. I enjoyed being a part of the Santa Barbara Writers Conference for all those years. I used to love to watch Barney on the tennis court because he would joke around and make everybody laugh. That was on April the 13th, 2012. And he sends you his best love.
All right. Good.
The thing with Barnaby, for me, is he just reminds me of being young a long time ago. In the early days of the Writers' Conference, I came there when I was 23 years old. My dad was speaking in Barnaby, and my dad would play tennis. And I remember the summer lawns at the Miramar and the train going by. And I can't think of Barnaby without thinking of those days. And of course, Barnaby and I collaborated. Well, he twisted my arm to collaborate on the Snoopy's Guide to the Writer's Life. And we sifted through all these strips, and we're reminded of my dad and the friendship they had in the Writers' Conference. And I guess the only thing I can really say is maybe it's sort of self-understood that the reason why I revived the Writers' Conference was because of Barnaby and Mary Conrad. I had no greater interest in it beyond that. Things come and go. My dad has his own events that came and went. But Barnaby established a legacy that I thought was important and was inspiring and reminded me of being young. And so at the conference last June, when I was there, and Barnaby and Mary were there, and I don't call him Thumper, I call Barnaby the third, BC3. BC3 was there. I felt a confluence of time and people and events, and was caused to realize that the conference can go on and become an ongoing tribute to this man, Barnaby Conrad. So, Barnaby, that's my tribute to you. It is the Writers' Conference. So.
Good for you.
El Maestro, for Barnaby at 90. We weren't anybody until we met Barnaby. And when he took you in with that steel gaze, studying you like a man who's been gorged by a bull, then saw you as friend, he filled with that famous inner light, and you became somebody. And if you had his back, he'd love you always. Might even drop your name. But if you weren't in his court, he'd drop it too. Time being all we have. And he had his, our Barnaby, who could draw anybody to his creative flame, famous or infamous. All moths to his charm and wit, words and art. And so the SBWC was born. He wanting for writers what he had for himself. The dream and bliss of creation. The fun of work. The pride of a finely hewn line, whether winning the worst written sentence or the best. And he showed us how to live through our struggles. Make him stand for something. Make us stand up and shout, "Olé!" Oh, to write about Barnaby can't fit in a poem. Or one of those 30-some he's penned. His life a line that goes on with barely a comma or breath. One of his writing challenges.
Oh, louder.
One of his writing challenges. Few he hasn't met or places landed, adventures not lived, little he hasn't touched with his genius, his life, all 90 years. A masterpiece that speaks volumes. No part left out or skipped, as Elmer Leonard says. Thanks for gathering us here. It's hardly enough. El Maestro, Matador, we're in the ring with you for keeps.